Living hell is my story, and I've always wanted to share it to people, but it's just so hard to talk about. And so putting it in a song was way easier than actually telling the story. When you're telling the story, like literally, it's like reliving it, and it's just like heartbreaking because nobody deserves that. And so me making a song about it helps me cope with it. I've always wanted to write a song about like my living hell, and a lot of us, we don't really like talking about, our past trauma and like our mental health. I feel like we should be more open to that, just opening up. We all have our own versions of living hell. I grew up with parents that showed me fake love whenever they're in front of other people. Like if I was like with a relative or with their friends, they've always shown me like fake love. And yeah, it was kind of weird, and that's why like you kiss my lips until they're colder. It's like you're kissing me, but I don't feel the love because it's fake. My nickname was Bitch, and they would be like, Bitch, hand me this, bitch, cook this for me for dinner. And like I grew up with that name, and it was horrible, but when other people are around, they would call me like, oh, it's my daughter. And yeah, they were just very controlling people. I feel like relationships are very hard for me because like I tend to push them away. I have trust issues, and there was one guy that told me it was really hard to love me, and that like I was like, that's fine, it's just me protecting me.
I can make your life a living hell if I wanted to. Wish this was a love you never felt, and you know it's true. Know it's true.
I thought of I can make your life a living hell if I wanted to, but I won't. I've always thought of revenge growing up, like, oh, when I grow up, like, I'm gonna take revenge. And yeah, but that changed growing up. Like, as I grow older, I realized that revenge isn't really the answer to everything. I learned that learning to forgive people, even if they don't even apologize for what they've done, I feel like I'm living more peacefully now that I've learned to do that.
Love me, trust me with the heart of yours. Feels so heavy, lying on the bedroom floor. I can make your life a living hell if I wanted to.
That lyric is very personal because there were so many times I get caught laying in my bed when I'm not supposed to. My dad would just like beat me up for it, and it's because they wanted to control me, and they were like, you cannot lay on your bed unless it's bedtime. And so I would do my homework on the floor. I would literally do everything on the floor, sitting on the floor. And there were so many nights I was so scared to even sleep in my bed because I just get traumatized. I'm like, I don't want to get beat up for this. Like, it's not 10 p.m. yet. Like, I can't lay down on my bed. No. When I was a kid, I would literally make them Valentine cards, like Valentine's Day cards and Christmas cards, and I would just see it in the trash can the next day, and that would break my heart. I show them how much I love them so much, but then they never showed it back to me. It's like, why do you love me now? So I have to be able to finish all the chores. So I'd be sweeping the yard, like picking up dog shit.
Tons of dog shit.
Yeah, I'd be cleaning up the cat house because we had a cat house, and I'd be sweeping goat poop in the goat pen. And
just a lot of cleaning up shit.
Yeah, and I have to clean up real good because if I don't, then my stepdad would get mad at me, and he'd be like, "Oh, you're not eating breakfast if you don't get this done."
Wow.
So yeah.
That sounds like I think bordering on abusive.
Yeah, I didn't actually realize that until I got to the States that I was going through that. To me, it was normal, and yeah, it was
So you'd
was
wake
hard.
up at 3 a.m.,
Mhm.
clean a bunch of shit, and then like, how would your stepdad decide if you did a good job or not?
He usually just checks the yard, and
You just see if there's
if he
shit.
sees like a poop in the ground,
You don't
I'm
eat
like,
breakfast.
Yeah, sometimes I don't eat breakfast. Sometimes he just like slap me, or I don't know.
Jesus.
Yeah.
And your stepmom, was she like protective of you, or was she also?
She wasn't really like abusive, but she was. I felt like she could have, said something about it. Yeah, but she was very silent about it.
Jeez.
And like my nickname was like stupid bitch growing up. Yeah, that was my nickname.
What?
And
At home?
it's hard because in the Philippines, like whatever happens in your neighbor's like house, you have to mind your own business. Like it's none of your business. So it's hard when I tell people like what's going on in the house, and nobody seems to give a shit.
So
in
you
school.
tried asking for help from people.
Yeah, in
but
school, and then I realized like nobody gives a shit. Like I went to school one time with a swollen hand on my right hand, and it was like bleeding, and I tried to like stop the bleeding before I got to school, but it was really bad. And my teacher was asking me why am I so like slow at writing that day, because
Like,
and I
hello?
told her, yeah, my hands are swollen and I can't write with my right hand, so I had to write with my left hand. And she was just like, oh, okay, just hurry the fuck up. And I'm like, okay, like
Wow.
nobody gives a shit.
No questions asked.
Wow.
So yeah,